Hello, I am Turbo K1000 and this is my third installment of my YouTube series where I make vlogs about art supplies and why I use them. To start with, I will be explaining all these supplies here and on here, and I will be showing a picture later on of what I'm working on so far. I'm just going to jump straight in because I've done 4 retakes of this and it isn't working, so I'm just going to jump straight in and get it all done. These are my Unipin fine liners. My most used black fine liners I have, and these are the 0.05s. They're very fine, and if you're going to use these, I'd use them with a light table because when you erase, these will just vanish. And as well as them, I've got the complete set of 5, with the 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, and 0.8. And I got these, like I said, with the same with them, to do black and white drawings with. These work well with watercolour and black and white. You cannot use them with markers. They will bleed. I actually do love this set though. They are actually one of my favourite sets, and I am getting different types of fine liners now, but they're the ones I use the most. Next is the Faber-Castell sepia tone pens. I got these because they were a brownish colour and I needed more warm colouring in my art, and I got these mainly to use on one picture. But now I use them quite a lot for my Sharpie drawings because these are the only pens that don't bleed. And they come in 4 sizes: small, fine, medium and bold, or brush. The S is a 0.3, the F is a 0.5, the M is a 0.7, and the bold, or the brush, is a 1 to 5 millimeter. These aren't good for very, very fine details unless you're very, very light at hand, but I actually tended to use these quite a lot. And I use this one quite a lot as well, even though it's really not as fine as I thought, and I've got quite a heavy hand, so it's quite hard. The brush pen I'm still practicing with, and I do recommend these to all artists who like using sepia tones because it starts off a really light brown, but the more ink you apply, the darker it gets. Next are my Faber-Castell pens. I call these screen tone pens, but they're just Pitt Artist Pens Manga Basic set. And they've got 5 grey tones and 3 black and white black markers: the small, the medium and the bold. The small is a 0.3, the medium is a 0.7, and the brush is the same as the brush pen on the last set I showed you. And then I've got 2 warm greys, 2 cool greys, and a greenish grey, which I pretty much use all of them. I mix and match. I use them as one thing. I use the warm greys for the skin, the cool greys mainly for clothing, and the greeny grey mainly for backgrounds. That's what I've used in my last drawing I did with markers, and they worked really well. Next, I will be explaining my inking supplies, which I use with nibs more than anything. I will complain, I don't like this ink. I got it to use as an opaque ink, but I didn't realise you had to write in opaque ink to get it. And when I got it, I was quite disappointed because it didn't explain that this wasn't opaque. So when I got it, I thought, oh, I could use this to clear up my drawings, and then it smeared a lot of the ink and it upset me. Though the picture is still completely fine, I wasn't very happy finding out that the ink I bought and spent money on didn't have a use to me. So now it just sits in my drawers and I have to shake it every so often so it doesn't go brown. So I'm not very happy with that, but I am really happy with the Jackson's Indian ink. You can't see it because it's smeared all over. But I've actually got up to here, and I've had it since November last year. So it's lasted this long, and I still haven't even got halfway down the bottle. That's why I recommend it, because it's 300 millilitres. You don't need to use a very large amount, and it's best for watercolour drawings, because this does not bleed at all. You leave it 24 hours, you paint it the next day, it's fine, it's perfectly fine. You don't even have to wait that long. I don't even wait that long with my fine liners. Next is my college Indian ink. I got this at college when I was younger, and I don't use it as often anymore, but I do find this to be the most opaque out of the 2 inks, because that one's more watered down than this one, and this one does make really good black in the quality of your art. If you have a black clothing thing, you want an opaque black, I recommend this this Indian ink. But I do have one problem. I don't know where it's from. I got this from college. When I finish college, you get to take your art supplies home with you. So, yeah, I don't even know where this is from, because it doesn't have a label. Next is my marker ink. This I'll use for marker drawings. You cannot use the Indian inks for marker drawings because they do bleed. Same with the fine liners, which is why I bought this ink. It is Deleter Black number 6, and it is not waterproof, which is why I only use it for marker drawings and black and white drawings. And it is very good quality ink. It cost me a fortune just for 30 millilitres. This is 30 millilitres. It's tiny. But it's lasted quite a while, so I'm not really bothered. But this ink is very good quality, not too thin, not too thick, and it doesn't take too long to dry, which is why it probably cost a bit more, because it was quite a good quality ink. But I recommend this for Spectrum pens, Copic markers, any alcohol marker based media, really. And that's all I can recommend for that. The Chimay ink, I have yet to open this. Well, I've opened it, but I have yet to use it, because it takes 10 minutes to dry at maximum, and that bothers me. But this is exactly the same as the Deleter ink, except for the length it takes to dry, and it's cheaper. It's probably cheaper because it takes too long to dry. But this is another ink that isn't waterproof. It cannot be used with watercolour, but it is good with marker drawings and black and white drawings. I have yet to test it though, so I can't give you an opinion, whereas I recommend all of these. This is my calligraphy set. I have not used all of the nibs. I've used the bottom one and the poster nib. I don't like this little nib here. It bends too quickly and it scares me a little bit in case it breaks. So I tend to use my Maru pens for that. But these come with two holders, a long one and a short one. I think this one's just for the poster one and this one's for all the different types, or just the ones with the curve.